Sometimes we want to tell God, God provide, Lord make a way for me, Lord do this. And when the Lord put the right thing in your heart and in my heart, we want it away from me. I can't do that, dear. How are you gonna get the money? How this and how that, and we begin to how and how. But I want today, this brand new year, the 12th day of this month, when this woman of God begins to speak to us about what God has placed on her heart and how it has been going since she's obeyed God, it would give us a little bit more evidence that Jesus will provide. He may not do it in the conventional way, and some of us sometimes think God gonna drop some kind of money out of the sky and something like that, but He'll give you an idea. He'll give you a gift. And in the kingdom, I can tell you, our gifts certainly makes room for us. So we're gonna just play a little piece of this so she can get herself ready for the mic. And then when we come back, I'm gonna speak to Pastor Deirdre Richardson, and she's going to tell us all about her God and what He has been doing in the Success Bridge area of her life. So call somebody, tell them come, get to hear this, and just let's listen a little piece of this song and come back. And then Pastor Deirdre is going to talk to us. So, our dear listeners, we are back again, and this time we are here to introduce to you the woman of God who has started this great work, the Success Bridge, and she's no stranger to our studio. She was here last year. We had a wonderful time with her, and now she's back. And I want her to just give us a little recap of what the Success Bridge is. And I see something here saying a classy pause. Well, that they sound like, yeah, something we need to hear about. Because it catch me. That the topic they're catchy. And so, without any further delay, I'm going to ask Mrs. Deirdre Richardson to just speak to our audience right here at Royal Central Place. Lady Richardson, welcome to our studio.
Thank you for having me. Welcome everyone to this afternoon's segment session. I'm Deidre Richardson, the owner of Success Bridge. Success Bridge, this is, I'm really so passionate about Success Bridge simply because I have a deep passion to work with entrepreneurs. And working with these entrepreneurs, it gives me hope to give them hope. I have looked on and observed that so many small businesses are just out of business. Why? When I have a conversation with some of them, there's no business structure. Persons just have an idea, run with the idea, and in a matter of time, they make the money and use the money, and then there's no business. So I'm very passionate about keeping these entrepreneurs' business open. I embrace their businesses as if it is my business. The same way how I would manage my business, those are the same ideas I would share with them. What we do, we evaluate life experiences and provide fresh perspective. And as I've worked with them over the last 7 years, I look at the bleeding points of entrepreneurs. And those are the areas that I target to build these businesses. So for our session coming up on the 28th of January, we will be looking at a classy pause. Why a classy pause? Have you realized that in January, most persons set goals, and sometimes before the month is finished, the goals just seem to go through the window. Some don't last halfway, some don't make it to a year. So if we take time out and we pause and we get things right, then we have an added solution to bring to the equation to ensure that our goals become a reality. We don't just want to feel good about planning goals. We want to execute these goals and watch them materialize.
Wow, that sounds good. Because yes, I know that persons run with an idea, and it's not like you say being vetted by anybody. Nobody look at it to give any little instruction and say, well, you could put this there, and you don't need to do this now. That could be for further. And after a while, small businesses, they get some leaks, and then you find you hear, oh, well, the person they ain't in business anymore. They don't do it no more like how they used to do it. And I am glad that somebody is bold enough and brave enough to come up with that type of solution, that type of help that is necessary for persons who are having their own business and who would need that help from time to time. It's not just about making the money and then you make it, and like you said, you spend it, and sometimes people don't even know where it is, can't find it to replenish the business. And so I think that what you're doing is very, very needful. It's necessary to the assistance of small business. And so the classy pause, I like that. I told somebody like a couple of months ago, January I don't do anything. And they told me that's the first month in the year. You're supposed to, I said no, I do nothing. I just pray, I just listen, I ask the Lord what to do, I put down the ideas that are in my head, and I say, okay, let's see how we are going to execute, how we are going to go about it. Because when you rush into something, sometimes you don't have the escape route back out. You're already in. And therefore you're struggling in there, and you and like us black people and Kitchens, we want nobody know we failing. So we don't reach out for help. And I am glad that you are reaching out and persons are getting the help that they desire. So tell us about the Classy Pause. Tell us about what's going to happen. I see something is supposed to happen at the end of this month. And so give us an idea of what's to look forward to in terms of the Success Bridge and where we are going in this month of January.
Classy pause. We are going to do 3 things. 1, inhale and grasp opportunities. Exhale and maximize your potential. But we're not going to stay there. We are going to stride and burst limits. That's what we are going to do.
Wow. So there's some work involved. And I smiled when you said inhale and exhale and burst limits. That sounds really good. But listen, it got some work to do. And so we now have to make up in our mind that when we come to these sessions, we are not just coming to hear what is being said, but we are coming to the session to be instructed as to how to do the inhale, how to do the exhale, and how to burst forth into what is ahead of us. And so awesome agenda there. Give me some dates and let the people hear where they can meet you and the date that they'll meet you there, and they don't know what to expect. A classy pause.
Okay, we are going to be at Covenant Remnant Fellowship Ministries on Pond Road, Newtown, Bastille, St. Kitts. And for those who are outside of St. Kitts, or for those in St. Kitts who are not able to make it at the location, we are going to be hybrid, which means we are going to be in person and we are going to be virtual. So those persons can also log on the virtual link, and it's on my Facebook page, Richardson's Business Services or Deidre Richardson. Either of them would have the link to the event. You click the link, you register, and registration for this event, it's only an investment of 50 US. An investment of 50 US, and this investment can transform your life and also your business. It's a fresh perspective. How do I move forward? And then you will begin to evaluate, especially the beliefs. Because some people feel have you ever come across somebody who feel, okay, I'm happy today, and then nothing happened, but the person just gets sad because they are expecting something negative and something to go wrong every time they get happy. So we want to examine the beliefs. What is stopping you from moving forward? What are some of your hindrances? What are those things that you consider to be obstacles? Or do you consider them to be mountain? For some, they may be a valley because I'm knocked down, I'm knocked over, and I just can't get up because of how I was made to feel. So we are going to evaluate the experiences.
Okay, so we know that the experiences are there. You can't hide it. We have had those times when we feel a how, and you wonder, well, how come this happening so consecutive? And I think when you get into the Classy Pause, some questions are going to be answered, some perspectives are going to come into play, and we are going to be able to go forward, enjoying what we do, doing what we enjoy, and becoming impactful in our society. And so the Success Bridge is moving off, and it's going to be an awesome Classy Pause this time. This name just keep tickling me. Something about the caption, it is speaking to what we need in our lives at this time. Now, she's here with me for a couple of more minutes. I'm going to play for us this selection, and then I'm going to come back, and she's going to wrap up her time with me, giving us again the dates, how to get there, and any last words that she would want to leave with us.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God
listeners, we're back with you. And I have been chit-chatting here with my good friend and woman of God who has been so inspirational and a blessing to my life. And she has been just a blessing here in the studio with me. She has been really been a blessing. But like I promised you, she started her work. She's been doing it. It's been successful. Persons are being helped. And it does not make sense to be out there struggling in your business, needing that pause in your life and not take heed to what is happening here. So she's going to give us just the final bit of information. She has already told us it's going to be online at her website, her Facebook page, and it's going to be also live and face to face at the ministry, the Covenant Remnant Outreach Ministry, right there on George Street. She's going to give us dates. She has already given us the investment amount. And then, Sister Deidre, if there's anything that you feel like you want to leave, any word, any last words, any words of encouragement, the mic is yours. Go right ahead.
I have a question. My question is, if we were to count the many opportunities we missed in 2022, would one hand be enough? Or would you need more than one hand to count the opportunities that you missed? And if you missed opportunities, the question I would like to ask you, why did you miss those opportunities or that opportunity? Before I wrap up in terms of the classy pause, I'd just like to share 2 tips with entrepreneurs. 1, pay yourself a salary. Pay yourself a salary. I have spoken to many entrepreneurs in consultation, and I asked them a question. Do you pay yourself a salary? Some said, I don't make enough to pay a salary, or I'm going to start to do it. And sometimes this is about after 2 years in business and they're still thinking to do it but never started. And I said, guess what? You're not paying yourself a salary, but the whole business income is your salary. They said, no. I said, yes. I said, take for example, if you have a mechanic shop and you see in the expenses weave, groceries, school fees, that's your salary. So now everything is coming from the business fund. Now suppose you were to pay yourself a salary. What normally happens when we get paid? When the money finish, we'll have to wait until we get paid again. But if the whole income becomes your salary, then it's a never-ending spending until the money is depleted. And we bother some ball that I can't find the profit. I can't have money to pay. I don't have money to pay my staff. I don't have money to buy supplies simply because of how the money was spent. So that's one tip. And the other tip, keep proper records. And this is something that entrepreneurs struggle with. They go for a loan and the bank would say, okay, we need your financial records. Some don't. And there are some businesses, the money don't touch the bank. They have their own setup that they take care of this money. And as a result, the bank can't even say, well, let me use your bank statement and look at the in and out, which means your deposit, your withdrawal. There's nothing. You might be something periodically, and that's not good enough to make a financial decision. And as much as these financial institutions would like to help entrepreneurs, there is a problem. The problem is they need source documents, because those financial institutions, they are being audited. And when they are audited and they pull your file, what's going to be in the file? Nothing, because there's no document. So they cannot give this a loan on the strength of somebody's mouth or somebody saying, well, I'm promised to pay a promissory note. It needs more than that. So gather your records together. We are in January. Pause. Think about what am I going to use for my business? Whether it's I'm going to use manual book and paper, Excel, or you're going to use an accounting software. But you need proper records because you need to know exactly where you came from. So that's going to give you a measure how you are growing. If you don't know where you started, then how could you know if you move? If I knew last year I made $1,000, this year I'm up to $3,000, say in March, then I can say, well, wow, business is growing. There must be something that you can measure. So records. So that's my little tidbits for entrepreneurs. And I would invite you, if you're overseas, if you're not able to come in person, we are located Pond Road, Newtown. You can join virtually. Click the virtual link, register for in person, register for virtual, $50 US investment, and it's 28th of January, 7 p.m. This is an environment that is created intentionally so that we can have a memorable experience. We can use the opportunity for reflective, focus, and creative thinking. It's also an environment with like-minded persons where we can be able to learn from each other as we share our journey, we share our challenges, and we actually talk about what has helped us to move forward. So I'm not only the only person who is going to be teaching and sharing. There are persons in the room who is going to be sharing, and we all say at the end of it, we have learned so much. I'm looking forward to see you. I'm excited to keep these doors open. Our business must survive.
Thank you very much. And that was a lot to ponder on, a lot to chew over. Do you pay yourself a salary? Do you keep good records? All of this and much, much more are there to be learned right at the 28th of this month at Classy Pause. Come on out and let your business thrive. Thank you very much, Lady Richardson. It was a pleasure having you back again at Royal Central Praise, and you know it is always a pleasure. Doors are open whenever you find the time and you feel the need. Thank you for a mouthful this afternoon.
Blessings to the studio, the owner, the management, and thank you so much for being such a great you actually hosted me so well. I felt warm, I felt welcome because of your personality. Don't ever change it. I'm aware that challenges would come, but remain who you are.
Thank you, and of course I can only be me, and I'm real. So listeners, there you've had it from the owner of Success Bridge, Mrs. Deirdre Richardson, giving us another mouthful on all the good things that is there to be had at the Success Bridge. Thank you very much for listening, and hey, let's listen to some music. Continue to bless the Lord as we think about that classy pause that we have to attend.
Just one more day, one more day, one more day, dear Lord, dear Lord, dear Lord. Strength when the days are gray. Strength.
Well, listeners, we have been so enjoying this interview. It has been such an awesome interview. One thing though, we gave you a date that is not the real date. It's the 26th of January, not the 28th. The 26th of January. So scratch out the 29th from your calendar. I know you just wrote it in the calendar. Sorry for messing up your January calendar, but just click in the 26th day and see you at 7 p.m. Bless you.
Strength, dear Lord.